So we know that comparing ourselves to others won't make us happy. It will make us unhappy. If you're always comparing your car to your neighbor's car, your income to your colleague's income, you are doomed for unhappiness. That's the truth, and you can look up many science research on that. What if we kind of flip the example of a bucket list? Because the bucket list also has some danger there, because we're constantly looking on a list with great ambitions and goals, but this is also telling us what we haven't achieved yet in our lives and possibly will not achieve at any time in our lives, because some dream goals are just dream goals. Yeah, because they are like dreamish. And there's the idea of a reverse bucket list, which I really like, by Arthur Brooks, who brings in more the principle of values on the question who you want to be in 5 to 10 years from now, and then align your, let's say, reverse bucket list more to your values. So if I want to, in let's say 10 years or even 20, 30 years, die peacefully, reconciled with all the relationships that I have managed worse, well, kind of, then, okay, this gives me an idea of who I want to be. Then I have different ideas about goals and objectives, how to live my life. This is a great idea, and basically it's really bringing in the idea of logotherapy formed by Viktor Frankl, where we align our actions to our values. And from there we experience sense and meaning. And that's why we become happy, basically. We feel well, because man is not striving for power, though there are some people in the world who look like that. Basically, Viktor Frankl always said man is searching for meaning. That's what we strive for, that's what we want to see in our lives. So the reverse bucket list by Arthur Brooks is a great idea. And I wanted to bring this idea a little bit further into an idea of a reverse bucket list with Ikigai, this Japanese word which stands for life and worth or value of life. So Ikigai is not a Venn diagram, there's another video about that, but Ikigai is the question, what makes your life really valuable? And there's an idea, also Ken Moggy talks about that it is not the big things sometimes, the big, things that we acquire for our lives, the big next thing that we acquire, but it's maybe more the smaller things in our lives that kind of provide us with happiness. And these small things can be so small that we tend to oversee them, to overlook them. And so Ikigai is always an invitation to expand our minds, to raise our awareness for the so-called little things. And then they are not really little anymore. They are more maybe profound. So little things could be something like, now the season is changing here in Germany, so we're heading into autumn, and the leaves are falling and they have beautiful color. And you can rush through them, and in the morning bring the kids to school, or get something from the bakery, or you can take this second of awareness and see the colors and notice them and see what resonates with you. Oh, nature's changing, nature's so beautiful, seasons are changing, so am I. And there's all these thoughts, all these philosophical thoughts. But basically there's also some beauty, just some simple beauty in nature. And then just seeing that for a second or for a minute, if you want. Even stop if you want. And this is something that Ikigai can teach us, that maybe it's about these simple things that we don't have to acquire, but that they are already in our lives. So Ikigai is not only the question about how I want to live my life, instead of what can I get next. So how do I want to live my life? And how can I become more aware of the riches in my life that are already there and that I tend sometimes to overlook or maybe forget in some days. And this is where the reverse bucket list applied with Ikigai comes in. The idea is to take 1-2 minutes each day. You can always extend that time. Get a pen right now and a paper and write down some really simple things of your day that you almost overlooked, or that you are aware right now, but they're so like simple that you might forget them in some days. Maybe it was an encounter with your neighbor that was unplanned. Maybe it was someone on the street just saying hello or just, smiling. Maybe it was just the beautiful sound of the trees moving or some birds. Really simple, daily things. And the good thing is, the more you dive into this exploration and like looking back at your day with that Ikigai lens, the more time you and the more space you give yourself. In Japan, we say ma, like space, room you give yourself for that thought. You might find even simpler and yet profound things. Like the fact that you're breathing right now, you're alive. You can listen to this video or turn on some music for your journaling, that this is available to you. And that shows us so many riches, like numerous riches that are available to you in your life already. And that gives great life satisfaction. In logotherapy, there's a nice diagram which basically tells you can acquire some small or greater things, and that will lead to pleasure for a short amount of time. But you can even live a more minimalistic life on the other side and even get rid of something and simplify your life. And that will lead to long-lasting well-being effects. So the question may be, if this has been a real shitty day, how to do this exercise then? And thank you for the question. And I'm really happy to receive your comments. If this has been a really shitty day, and my day was like mais ou menos in Portuguese, like not so the most beautiful day, was kind of a challenging day, then it is the best time to do this exercise. These are the days you should do this exercise, because even then we can find meaning in the most simple things of daily life. It might sound like a stretch goal, but if this has been a bad day for you, I'm very sorry, but there's something you can do. You can take a blank piece of paper and write down some simple things that, besides all the stress, besides all the challenges and what could have gone better about this day, that are available to you. And sometimes it's even not tangible, but it's like your freedom of choice, how you want to end this day, how you want to frame this day, how you want to think about that day, and even seeing these challenges as invitation to grow. So these are some thoughts of mine. I'm happy to receive yours. This is the idea of a reverse bucket list, looking back at your day, really simple thing, but applying this Ikigai idea of the little things that really matter. So I'm curious to hear what you think, and let me know in the comments, and talk to you soon. And I will give also a link to this Canva template of the reverse bucket list. You can just copy it and fill it out with your thoughts. Let me know and post some on, for example, Instagram, and tag me on as Motoki. See you soon. Bye-bye.